Once they were sworn enemies. Political compulsions forced Mulayam Singh Yadav and Sonia Gandhi to join hands. While officially, the nuclear deal was the reason for the two groups to come together, there is now growing evidence that the alliance has come at a heavy price, involving the disproportionate assets case of the Samajwadi Party chief. CNN-IBN has in its possession a new internal document prepared by the CBI and likely to be presented in the Supreme Court on Tuesday. In this document, dated February 2nd, the CBI is now admitting that there is no case against Mulayam Singh Yadav. Prepared by CBI officer Tilochana Verma, it totally contradicts the stand taken by the premier investigating agency so far in this case. In its status report submitted to the Supreme Court in October 2007, the CBI had asked for filing of corruption case against Mulayam Singh Yadav and his family members for accumulating assets worth almost 4.5 crores, disproportionate to his known sources of income. Now, in a dramatic U-turn, CBI is admitting to mistakes in its own investigations to bail Mulayam out. Look at some of the loopholes. Mulayam accused of not giving accounts of 21,68,232 rupees. Close scrutiny reveals that returns were filed on this amount. His son Akhilesh charged of spending 10 lakhs for construction of Deep Cinema Hall, whereas in reality he had given 1 lakh as loan and even got the loan back. CBI had told the court that Akhilesh's wife, Dimple Yadav, had given a sum of 10 lakh rupees. However, the correct figure is only 1 lakh. A payment of 9,81,420 rupees made from the Samajwadi Party's SBI bank account in Lucknow. Verification shows there is no truth in that. Akhilesh accused of investing 1,83,000 and also buying shares worth 2,62,420 rupees. But inquiry revealed that only 2,62,420 rupees were spent, and actually the figure of 1,83,000 was already included in that amount. In many cases, amounts spent or raised but accounted for through receipts have been considered as unaccounted. Wanting to withdraw its earlier report declaring Mulayam guilty, the report even suggests that if any action would be taken against Mulayam, then the image of the agency could take a beating. And so the question, why does the CBI now want to withdraw from this case? Was this a part of a quid pro quo deal that had been worked out between the UPA leadership and the Samajwadi Party? And what happens to the alliance between the two sides if this disproportionate assets case is not closed against Mulayam? The Samajwadi Party claims that the Congress is using the Mulayam case to strike a hard bargain on the eve of elections.
This is very damaging and disgusting to know that this kind of fixing is done, and right from the beginning I maintained that this is the culture of Congress.
Congress has never misused the CBI.
But while the politicians may claim that the CBI is not being misused, the evidence in this case points to exactly the opposite. On the 30th of July 2007, the CBI submitted a report to the central government that the available evidence did not make a case of disproportionate assets against Mulayam. At that point, relations between the Samajwadi Party and Congress were at their lowest ebb, so the agency was asked for another report. On the 20th of August 2007, the agency again submitted to the government that there was no case against Mulayam. Strangely, on the 26th of October the same year, the CBI went and told the court that Mulayam must be prosecuted. These revelations now come at a time when the deadline for striking an electoral alliance in UP is fast approaching. It's clear now that if the assets case goes against Mulayam, it could mean the end of the uneasy equation that has propped up the Manmohan Singh government for the last 6 months. In New Delhi, Bhupendra Chaubey.